Welcome to Laptop Radio. Today's topic is the development and launch of AppTech's potential payment technology. And I'm really grateful to have Luke D'Angelo with us. He is the chairman and CEO of AppTech Corp. Hello, Luke. How are you?
Very good. Nice to meet you, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Where are you right now?
So I'm in lovely North County, San Diego, in a city called Carlsbad.
Awesome. I am familiar with Carlsbad. What is your story?
That's a very good question. I got my start in real estate. I learned investment banking, and after mistakes in investment banking, I focused on venture capital.
Mhm.
I learned a lot of what the big guys practice and what some of the smaller guys use to get ahead in today's marketplace. And ultimately, a combination of these items is who I am. People who know me know that I love to cook, and I love to cook a lot of different types of foods. I use those same ways to make a great meal to make a great company or a great product. It's the same. Great ingredients equals great things. So that's what I try and focus on, not just one thing, but many things to make a great thing.
Awesome. Let's talk about AppTech as a company. So you mentioned that when you're cooking, there's different ingredients. So what are some of the ingredients in building AppTech?
I like Italian food, and I like Chinese food, and I like food that delivers a very big message. At AppTech, we started working on some of our early ingredients back in late 2007, 2010, when some of my friends started working on developing patented products. And knowing that AppTech wanted to get into the merchant services space, powered by mobile payment and many other powerful technologies, we realized that we needed some great ingredients to make that happen.
Mhm.
And in this case, that's patented technology. It's taken us years to put this patented technology into a position where it can be delivered for an everyday use, and finding the right partner for that delivery has been challenging, to say the least.
Mhm.
I'd like to discuss a little bit about our patented technology.
Sure.
Most people know that our mobile payment patent
Mhm.
is the patent for moving money from cell phone to cell phone, person to person, or person to business. The industry it created is known as P2P payments.
Mhm.
Move money by text message, click, tap, scan, QR code from any bank account to anyone. We
Mhm.
see it everywhere. Venmo in the United States, or Alipay, or WePay in China. This is our mobile payment patent. That technology is being used by over 300 companies.
Mhm.
Our second technology and patented is our two-way SMS chat patent, which any computer or cell phone SMS communication can use. For example, you text Katrina to 7777 to donate $30.
Mhm.
That message goes back to a computer for processing, then moves money, which ties back to our first patent. Another example you get is when your bank calls, or like Bank of America or Citibank, and they send you the fraud department confirming a text saying, did you authorize this transaction? Yes or no? That's another example of our technology. One more example is Twitter's phones don't talk to phones at all, right? All messages go back to the computer, the PC, and then the PC processes it, then routes the text back to the right people. That's our IP. The last example I'll go into is messengers like Facebook, AOL, Trillion, Meebo, all have an SMS chat feature to chat to your friends' cell phones.
Mhm.
That's our IP. Our third patent, which one would say is not exciting, but it doesn't give us entrance into some ball games, is our patent for protocol, the industry protocol, which is known as WAP push. This is sending a URL in a text message, very commonly used in Apple iTunes Store for downloading music when you receive a link to your phone. Google Play Store sends a link to your phone to download the application. This is using WAP push, which is our IP again. And it ties back to downloading Venmo, to move money and chat, et cetera, et cetera. So these three patents, which took 8 years to basically develop the technology around it, was the early part of AppTech's, call it, formation. We knew what the big guys were doing. We knew what the little guys were doing before they even got started. But because the industry swelled as overnight with the application of many technologies, we wanted to make sure that when we entered into the arena, our platform was rock solid. So that being said, that covers a lot of what we are trying to accomplish. Call it some main ingredients to our play in the market.
That's what inspiration though. So before you wanted to cook a dish, you might be inspired about something basically inspire you to cook. Before you develop these technology or even have the idea to conceive the patent, what's some of the inspiration?
The inspiration was the payment business was one of the fastest growing industries I think I've ever seen. And being a consumer in the early days, having to deal with checks and deal with all these things that are all eliminated practically now, the inspiration was to find a better way without being hacked, without being frauded, and typically have a system that, which includes multi-factor authentication, is safe. Our technology does not use the internet or an app. It's straight text-based, right? It's the only technology for the last 20 years, texting, that has grown significantly under patented protection and really is almost virtually hack-proof. All these other guys can't really say that to some degree.
Can you elaborate more on that? Why is your technology more hack-proof than the other ones?
When you are using payment services and you're delivering your card, or you're getting on the internet to deliver your information, or you're getting on an app to submit information, all that information is going through third, fourth, and fifth party servers. Our text messaging payment platform is sending you a straight text. We're billing you $59.95 for this. Yes. Boom. We're charging you $89.95 for this. Yes. Boom. There is none of this third-party stuff that allows accounts to get hacked available to be hacked.
Okay, so it's more direct.
Absolutely. Direct cuts out a lot of the third-party players, saves merchants money, and ultimately, it's easier to use.
How do you handle chargebacks and fraud?
A lot of chargebacks and a lot of fraud are based on customer not being happy, customer not getting what they wanted, customer having no idea what has happened. While we've been developing our technology at AppTech, one thing AppTech has is we have mountains of identifiable demand, users, customers that are waiting for all of this stuff that we're about to turn on here in the first quarter to come to life. And that is a big concern of our customers, making sure that they are not in a position to be hacked, to have their information usurped from them and spread out all over. So we have focused on making our product deliverable for our customers all at the same time. I don't know if that answered your question, but that's what our customers are looking for. Seamless, smooth transition so their customers can use it. Where a customer gets lost is when they're ordering something And if they're directed here, directed there, they'll drop the sale. But if it's just a straight sale, it'll go through. So our customers are looking for immediate execution, immediate clearing of funds, immediate availability, because that eliminates what the customer is unhappy about. So if they're saying they're buying this gadget for $5, in 24 hours, they're saying they don't like the gadget, that's a return. That's a normal charge. That's a normal return.
Yeah, that's a normal return.
You have a lot of customers who order the gadget, they're not happy with it, and they send it back or it was ordered illegally. What our system does is it cuts down the chargebacks to the lowest potential, less than 0.5%, to the real returns. It definitely prevents fraud because nobody can access that information and create those false chargebacks. It really puts the customer in a position where they are absolutely committed to buying that product or not. If there's a guarantee offered by the manufacturer or the service provider, then obviously that'll get rerouted, returned, and everybody gets their money back as they should. But what it does is it expedites the payment delivery as a digital currency should.
Who is your customer?
So our customers are everybody from medical companies to a shoe store to restaurants to online stores. Pretty much we service everybody. Yes, because ultimately our merchants, we provide many ways to process and help them. If you go to Wells Fargo, if you go to Chase, if you go to Union Bank, they have one way, and that's it. Sure, they'll save money with Square, but getting an account representative that is the same account representative, it just doesn't happen. A lot of our merchants are relationship-based. They like the fact that we'll help them fix their online presence with either their web presence or their social media presence, because at the end of the day, we're helping them box their transactions, process them, so they have whatever they're delivering to their customer they need at their fingertips, and they get paid their money as they should immediately. Banks are focused on, we'll give you a best rate, we'll do this for you, but they leave out all the other stuff that merchants feel wronged about. For example, Michelle, as you are aware, right? If I walk into a store with my Visa card, and my Visa card says I'm going to get 10 points back any of my purchases, it's the merchant who pays for that. It doesn't matter if you have a low rate. If you carry one brand of Visa, you have to honor all those rates. And so this is where merchants get confused. They think they're paying one rate, they're really paying this when, these different types of cards come in, because you're obligated to Visa and the MasterCard to accept all brands.
Mm-hmm.
So we like spending time with our merchants and explaining to them what's going on, how they're saving money, what to look out for in fraud. We take it to a whole nother level. And what we're going to be able to do for our merchants here in the first quarter is let them have all of our products to use for their customers.
Mm-hmm.
And Michelle, what that means is basically we're going from a couple hundred customers to 100 million users.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's exciting about our technology and our new partner that we are about to do. We're rolling out. It's taken us 6 years to find the right person to roll out our patented technology domestically and globally.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an integration team to help onboard merchants?
We do. This team is led by Virgil Lapitan. Virgil is our president of AppTech. And Virgil has spent almost 20 years in the insurance and payment business. And him and his team basically go to great lengths to understand the merchant, to understand what they're trying to accomplish. Not just, here's your rate, here's your contract, let's sign, let's go. No, let's talk about what you want to do as a merchant to try and grow your company, bring more sales. And that's what Virgil and his team does. They focus on our merchants and what their long-term plans are. When we did our beta on our merchants for the last 6 years, we basically have retained 98% of our merchants. So there is not the turnover that you see at some of these other places. But then again, our new technology it hasn't rolled out just yet. It will in the first quarter. And that's when we're going to go bonanza on our merchant expansion, because we've proven how we treat our merchants and what we do for them to the greatest degree.
I wanted to ask you about data. How do you handle data?
That's a great question. As today is very big on what you're doing with your data and who you're giving it to. We have many uses for data, but our plan is not to use anything for data except what our merchants want to do with the data. We have a great partnership with Oracle. Oracle is not only helping us, they're going to make our back-end system to the point where all of our data is protected, housed, and available for whatever we desire it to be, in conjunction with the permission and approval of our merchants. But being in the payment industry, as you know, protecting that data and making sure we're compliant and all of that is very important. And Oracle is helping us achieve that to a significant degree.
I've checked out your website, and your rates are significantly pretty cost effective compared to your competitor. Are there any other hidden fees? Is that just a flat rate? How does that work?
Remember, like I was talking to you about, we like to educate our merchants and understand what they're actually paying for. A lot of these bigger banks, they don't say that stuff. So we offer a cost calculator up front, so merchants can actually see. One would say, oh, you're giving away your secret and they can go to this person and that person. We prefer to look at it as like this. If you know what you're dealing with up front, you're always going to get a good deal. If you don't know what you're dealing with up front, it's going to lead to murky waters. We've made mistakes where merchants were overcharged or undercharged, but those were years ago, and we fine-tuned how to deal with this, and that's by saying, here's what you're about to pay. We take what our competitors are charging, and quite frankly, because they're so big and they have to support millions and millions of dollars for millions of operations, that's part of it. We consider our company stealth. One day people are going to wake up and we're going to earn $2 a share. And it's because we quietly work on the bigger accounts who want to be held and made sure that they are being heard and they're not just a number. Because too many of these big payment companies, the attrition is continuous. It's continuous. I think last year or the year before was the most transition of CEOs of all time in companies. Imagine how these poor merchants feel who are struggling in COVID, who are struggling to do all this stuff, and the people who are handling their money are nowhere to be found. That's not the case with AppTech. You can get a hold of us anytime, and we're there to help. And for us, that's what it's about, helping our merchants. I've seen a lot of shareholders and other deals get screwed, okay? You asked what was the inspiration in part of this? Part of the inspiration is giving shareholders the means for them to advance themselves with the best technology ever, so they don't get screwed by the guys who are actually trying to take advantage of them. Merchants, they get up every day to do what they do every day and all day long. And what's great is we talk to these people. I don't care if they're a shoe salesman or they have 50 car dealerships. They're all the same. And that's the way we treat them. And that's why we retain them. And that's why the others will lose them.
Let's talk a bit about compliance and acceptable use. I love those topics. How do you handle compliance and acceptable use?
Wow. Michelle, you have great questions.
I do.
So first off, AppTech is a public company. we're fully reporting, and we're actually getting ready to do some significant things. So our compliance starts with us being a public company with audited reports, committees, reviews, all this other stuff. Followed by that, because we have worked with some of the biggest banks in the country for the last 10 years, we have studied their back ends and we've studied their front ends. And we've studied their back ends and we've studied their middle ends. And this is one of the best kept secrets about AppTech is we've actually been able to study our competitors significantly. And that includes the risk department and the compliance department. AppTech was very excited to hire our in-house counsel about a year and a half ago. And in conjunction with all of our other attorneys, it's helped consolidate all of our issues, itemize what compliance issues need to be handled, and where we're not compliant. You go through a few audits, and obviously people who are public companies know what that means.
Yeah.
You go through a few audits, you learn to be compliant. Even if you had the best intentions of being compliant, you're not always going to be compliant. But going through those steps, you learn to be compliant. And we've had a lot of help. And I can say with the office of the CFO and our in-house counsel, in conjunction with our counsel and auditors, they have done a great job making sure AppTech is not only compliant, HIPAA compliant, and other sorts of compliant. We can never be compliant enough, and we will always work to be the best in compliance we can be based on our relationships. How's that?
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about the struggle of building something awesome for the last 7 years and how that journey is like. When you're preparing to cook a dish, things don't always go perfectly, and you need persistence, and sometimes ingredients don't work and you need new ones.
Or you put too much salt in it.
What are some stories in building and launching the payment technologies?
Obviously, too much sugar can kill a dish as well. AppTech has, for the last 6 years, focused on the right software partner to help write code and deliver our product. And similar to dating, you go down this road with some person and you're thinking opera and harmony, and really at the end of the day, it's Sesame Street music and not anything that you expected. Not many people want to work for free, okay? As AppTech's chairman and CEO, I don't take a salary, I don't take a paycheck, I don't take back pay, I don't take back stock. I work for the pleasure of the shareholders. I consider it to be an honor. Some people want to get paid for their services. So explaining to those people that you go farther in life serving others than you do serving yourself, it's not always going to be a hit record. So those can be challenging. The people who know that you have to build something and it takes a while and you build it from the ground up, you do that for free. Otherwise, how can you have other people pay for it? Cooking as a way to demonstrate what we can do. AppTech has had many bad dishes that we've had to throw out for a combination of too much vinegar, salt, and sugar. AppTech really had to get its own proper measuring cups so we didn't overdo our dish anymore. And that's exactly what we did. We found a good partner who understood what we were trying to do versus somebody trying to rip us off for what we're trying to do. When you're thinking about the greater good, you go much farther than you think about when you're thinking about yourselves. And that's why I see a lot of startups die. Startups die because a lot of times they think about themselves versus what they can do for others and how they can help others. And that's why our phones ring off the hook, right? Because we care. We will take the time to care. And we have billions and billions and billions of dollars in identifiable demand that concur with the way we care and we try and do things. And that comes from burning dishes, bad ingredients, and ruining your taste palette for what really should be good events and not sour events.
So let's talk about caring, because I think that term has changed over the last couple of years. We're talking about customer service here, and specifically customer service for merchants. We have different merchants, they're starting their small businesses. They could be shoe shops or car repair shops or pawn shops. They basically are providing a service. They just want a way to accept money and don't have to really pay a lot for middlemen here and there for that service. A couple years ago, the cost was really high. Now it's a little bit lower because of these technology. There are some companies that when you call, it's really hard to speak to someone unless you're really big and have leverage. So what does that mean? What does that mean to your company?
So, and you touch on some good points, because part of what our technology does is it offers a better way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of infringers on our technology, and people say, why don't you go sue them and do all this and la la la. We can, but we prefer to deliver a better way.
Mm-hmm.
And then offer that way to those who are using our way and say it's still a better way. That being said, our mobile payment technology helps some of these people who are in real tough situations.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the airline industry. Not many people realize that it is a high-risk industry. There are multiple chargebacks. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the jewelry business.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the pawn shop business. Mm-hmm. So in essence, you're having real merchants who are providing real things getting ripped off because they're in a category created by a bank. So when we talk to these people and say, hey, we have a better way, not only are we going to save you money because it provides you guarantee and assurance of no or limited chargebacks, but it reduces their rates from paying the extortionists that they're already dealing with. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you're a pawn shop or you own 50 car washes. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, we can provide a better way and savings for all of them because we take the time, and the people who represent us are still here. Mm-hmm. They don't go to the next job. In the early days, our merchants actually earned stock to process with us. Mm-hmm. Because they were loyal. But really, it is all about customer care, Michelle. It just is. At the end of the day, that's all it is.
I noticed that you have a few merchant patented payment technologies, such as payments, which is you can charge on the website or mobile. And then you have SMS. We used to call it pay by phone. And a few other technology. Do you offer that in a package?
We will be offering all of that in a bundle package.
Okay.
Like I pointed out earlier in the program, our merchants are going to be able to use all of our powerful technologies for them. So then they can go out and use it for their customers, and all of a sudden we have 200 million users. That's it. The bundle package is going to be a very exciting thing for AppTech. We've been working on that, and we believe that in the first quarter that will be definitely out there. And merchants could go yes, and no to that guy, and no to that guy.
Awesome. I wanted to take us away from the cooking and now to the enjoyment of the dish.
Let's talk about the enjoyment of the meal.
Yes.
The way I see it, and AppTech sees it, is a customer walked by many great meals to sit at our table to have dinner with us. Mm-hmm. That means their bank, their providers, whatever. So by the time the customer's talking to us or is a customer, we consider that gold. When you talk about retention and enjoying the meal, when you order off a menu and you take delivery of your meal, you're expecting it to be a certain way. When you give the order, you say rare, medium rare, no dressing on the salad, etc.
Yes.
The experience our customers have is when they order off the menu, they get what they are expecting.
Okay.
And sometimes, because we go over and above, they get a little added feature of an appetizer or a dinner salad or a soup because they're now having in their bundle free text messaging, free mobile payment, free mobile app development, website improvement, cart development. Those are all things that they weren't expecting at their meal. And now all of a sudden they get paid for it. So they're saving money eating with us than half the other guys they walk by, just from the pure fact that we take the time to show them where the savings are, but more importantly, our patented technology puts them in the driver's seat.
Yeah, yeah. So it's almost like a 5-course meal when it will become bundled. Let's talk about the future. I realized and know that you just IPO'd last year.
We did it a little bit differently, Michelle.
Mhm.
We took over AppTech in 2013. It was a mess. I like to say we are doing a reverse IPO.
Okay.
We basically took over AppTech, we cleaned it up, and while developing our technology, we struck up a relationship with our investment bank, Maxim Group. They've been our banker now for 2 years.
Mhm.
AppTech is getting ready for a major offering and a major uplisting as well to support some of these endeavors that we are going to be doing domestically and globally.
I know that you can't talk a lot more about the future, but what are you excited about in the next 5 years that is really high level without providing any confidential information or anything that you can say?
Absolutely. AppTech has been waiting to get and consolidate our relationships that other people are making money off of.
Hmm.
With the launch of our technology in the first quarter, the next 36 months is going to be a blitz of acquisitions of and acquiring and turning on our relationships with our payment platform.
Hmm.
Because we have waited for years to do it. And although others may think they have gotten stronger, we have gotten more stealth and we will create a lot more wealth.
We have spoken about your patented technology. We've spoken about all the ingredients. We've spoken about the preparation of the meal and the journey in making the meal. We spoke about the enjoyment of the meal and customer care and expectations and a little about the future of AppTech. What is one thing that you wanted to share that I have not asked you?
We have not talked about AppTech's involvement in telehealth. AppTech has made an investment into telehealth with our partner at Silver Alert Services.
Mhm.
And this is just another form of capturing merchant services and providing products to people who actually need it.
Mhm.
As today's society is affected by COVID and the horrendous pain that's creating,
Mhm.
we felt that we could get into bed with a company that promotes doctor's visits through ultimately your portal of whether it's your phone or your laptop. We wanted to get into that business. So we created a relationship with Silver Alert Services that's going to allow us to get into many hospitals that can provide a tablet so the doctor can visit them and they don't have to leave. And it prevents a lot of risk, so to speak. But
Mhm.
more importantly, what it does is it ties AppTech to the medical community, particularly to the convalescent homes, hospitals, pharmacies,
Mhm.
and those elements that have built-in merchant services that nobody really thinks about unless you're writing software for them. So it's another way for us to get into a guaranteed portion of the market, which is what we intend to do with some other relationships as well. We have part of our future while making our technology available to others is licensing that technology to some others as well, so they can do what they do best. So I would say that Silver Alert is the first of many relationships that AppTech will be pursuing along those lines to
Mhm.
cultivate not only merchant services, but to implement our products as well.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And what is one piece of advice that you have for the community?
It's simple, Michelle. Those who serve others for free or without expectation always goes the farthest in life and will always have friends.
How do people reach you or find your company?
That's a good question. It's AppTech Corp, AppTech, Corp.com. They can get a hold of us. We're here. We run 24/7, and we're here to fix people's problems and make payments great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Bye.
All right. Have a great day. Bye.